Hello again. So today we are finally going to tackle this mess. And the first thing I got to do is get all the pots off of the rebar that's holding them up, set them over here behind me where I can get them all pulled apart, get fresh soil in there. I bought a bunch of new plants yesterday. So let's get this Topsy Turvy planter cleaned up and looking good again. It is getting some pretty strong sun right now, and so I think what I'm going to have to do is throw some shade screen just over the top of this. My starlings are not happy because, as you can see, that's where the pillar is, and she keeps landing there and then flying off because I put a pop-up right here. So all these plants have not been acclimated. Whoops, hold on, don't get dizzy. All these plants have not been acclimated. They were undercover in a greenhouse and under some pretty strong shade cloth. So I will definitely have to protect them, probably for at least a week or two. I will just keep the shade cloth on in the morning, and then once the sun goes across over the back of the house, which by 2 o'clock this is fully in the shade, and then I'll just pull the shade cloth off so that they can breathe. I just lay a big piece right over the top. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, there's my bird. Can you see her? So I think both parents take care of the babies because they're so often like back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get these pots off. So this should be fun. So let's see if you can. I'll try not to block the camera too much, but I want to start. I think I'm just gonna pull this whole one right off. I'm not sure which way it goes. Oh, just like that. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to set this in the shade behind me. Hopefully that doesn't fall over. Okay, now this one, I forgot to bring my tools. So what I want to do is pull this plant out of here. It's so dry. I haven't watered this, you know, because I mean, we've gotten so much rain. I didn't need to water anything. But I want to keep this in the ground where it's growing so that it stays healthy. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it after, but and now I gotta get this one straight off. They're actually coming off a little easier than I thought they would. All right, this one's kind of small. Let me sort of take a look. And I think, there we go. Straight off. Ooh, don't fall over. Okay. Now this last one is going to be trickier, I think. Oh, because it's really heavy to begin with. It's a terracotta pot, but it's a really thick, it's got a lot of ants in there. It's a really thick old style. Ugh. You know, I might have to have Dave come and help me move this one. Or you know what I may do? Maybe I'll just leave that one there, pull the plants out of it, fill the dirt without moving it. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do with that one. Okay, so we're gonna leave that one there for now, and let's come over here and we'll start. Come over here and we're gonna sit in the shade here and start pulling all the plants out of these pots. Okay, so I'll start with this one, and what I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm going to cut these pieces off here, and I'm going to just replant them as cuttings. So I have my cardboard box down here to set them in. I'm going to cut this one way down here. I'll probably remove a bunch of those leaves. Check for mealybugs. Sorry you can't see that. I'll check for mealybugs on these, because this planter, looks like I got a little spider in there. This planter did seem to get a lot of mealybugs on there for some reason. And so I was constantly having to treat. And then the same thing with these. I'm just going to cut these. They've gotten, whoa, that one's gotten away. They've gotten really leggy. And so these are, I mean, they're nice pieces. There's, yeah, I'll put these ones back in, most of them. And they feel nice and firm still, so I think they're pretty happy. One more here. I'm not sure what these are. I'll have to go back and look. Maybe a Grapto, I don't know, something. This one looks like it might have been a Vera Higgins or even a Chroma. Definitely needs to be cleaned up though. We have got, what is this? Was this a ghosty? That might have been a ghost plant. I did stick a few of those in there. This little tiny little guy growing in the back there. Okay, let's put these down here. Now here, I want to get all of these off of here, out of here. So I should be able to, I need a little table. The chair will work, but it's, you know, everything's tipping sideways. Okay, we'll get these out of there. Bring my bucket a little closer and just try and clean these little guys up. Because these little small ones are perfect for going up in the top little tiny small pot. And, you know, they've obviously shrunk in size from whatever they were when you could see that was the whole plant. And then, you know, all these leaves have just died back as it's been not happy in here. Just getting fried. And look at the size of that stem. You can see where it kind of rotted around the outside. Once I clean off all these dead leaves, I can probably, yeah. So clean all this off. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'll show you in a second. Get all this yuck, whatever, off of there. And then what I'll do is I'll cut more off of this, maybe even a little bit more off of that, until it looks more healthy. But I got another piece of rot right there. So, okay, I'm just gonna cut that whole stalk off. Now this piece, so you can see it doesn't really have much of a stem, but I can just set that right in the soil and it will root. It'll definitely root itself back in there. So let's look at these other ones. Clean off all the dead leaves. And then just chop that. This one looks like it's got a much healthier stem. So yeah, that one looks good. So we'll just leave a little of that stem on here. And one more. Whoops, broke a leaf off. Actually, I think I did that pulling it out. So this one's got a nice healthy stem, you can see. So I'll just leave that just like that. Nice little rosette. Okay, and now this last, I'm just gonna pull all this out and get rid of it. Okay, this last one is still looking pretty good. Ooh, there's some sharp dead leaves down in here. So this one actually flowered not too long ago, and I never got the stems or the flower stalks cut off of it, but it does have a lot of dead leaves around the outside. So let's clean all that off. I think I'm going to pretty much plant everything back in this pot as cuttings. It's only supposed to be in the upper 70s, and we'll have like 2 days in the low 80s, and then back into the mid 70s for a few more days. So they should have plenty of time to harden off in the soil. I won't water the pot once I plant everything back in here. And the soil that's in there now is really dry. And so I don't have to worry about any issues. I'm just going to cut this one completely off. And you can see that has a nice healthy stem. Still a few more dead leaves around it, but yeah, I'm just going to clean this one up and plant it right back. That's a nice plant. But it's going to be definitely happier in some new fresh soil. So I did find a little, obviously a leaf broke off and there's a little plantlet growing, so we'll hang on to that guy. And the rest of this, I'm not going to save. This is probably so root bound, and my cat is knocking my camera over with his tail. He just grabbed this like a monkey. He walked under it with his tail. Fezzik, can you go away? That would be awesome. So I'm just going to dump all of this out and check. Yeah, this is so full of roots. You know what I might do? I need a sifter. I really need a sifter. Okay, so this one's, because this soil, actually, if I just shake these roots out, it feels really nice and good and gritty. I wonder where did I get this? Well, you know what? I'm just going to start over fresh. That'll be easier. So I want to wipe the pot off. Clean everything off the bottom. But I want to leave them kind of dirty because I sort of like that look. There's more. I got to dump everything out. So I'll be putting these back together over on the rebar. So for now, I just can set them out of the way because you have to stack them back up on the bar over there. I don't know if you can see, I'm pointing too high. Yeah, you're going to stack them back up on the bar and then add soil and then put the plants on after it's back in its position. I wish my camera would hold still. Okay, so let's do this other little big one here. And this has quite a few plants in there. So I can see I've got mealybug right here. Oh, this was flowering. This is the that sedum, God, what's it called? California Sunset, sedum Adolphi. I don't know why I can never remember that one. I see a lot of little tiny plants in here, and I think a bunch of these started as leaves that fell down in here. So where to begin on this one? I think this big one. I think I'll get this one out. Be careful not to, look at all these little tiny plantlets in here. They are stuck. Well, I might have to sacrifice a few of those because I need to get the big plants that I'm going to be able to reuse out of here. Okay, so this, I'm not sure what this one was called. Let me shake it off over here real quick. But it was one of the ruffle. I think it was in an echeveria. I put 2 of these in there, and they didn't do too good because I think it was just too hot, and I think they like a little bit more of a cooler temperature. I'm gonna cut that off. I'm gonna cut it actually above there, a little bit higher there. So I still got, it looks like a little bit of, I mean, the outside of the stem looks good, but it's kind of weird how it has this little bruised looking side. But I'm gonna leave it like that, and I'm gonna put that one back in there. So yeah, look at this one, it was blooming, and this one over here. I did have, I think it's in that bottom pot. Where were they? Were they out here? I did have some jelly beans that were blooming, which have never bloomed. None of mine have ever bloomed before, so that was kind of cool. Okay, so this is this Portulacaria. I'm not going to put this back in, especially this piece, because, you know, I mean, that's not even worth saving. And I have so much of this in the garden, I can cut out a whole bunch of really nice pieces to add back in here if I wanted from other plants. So we got this little teeny tiny little guy, but he's hanging on. He had a fat stem, but you know, I'm just going to put it aside like that. I'll decide later if I want to even reuse it. So let's cut this guy. This is another one of those, I think these are they Grapta Echeverias or Graptivarias, or I don't know, but it's kind of cool. It looks like it's got some damage. We did get a hailstorm, a really bad one, just a couple of weeks ago. And a lot of my plants had hail damage. I think that might have been a ghost plant. We'll hang on to this little guy. Throw him in there. And then this was my chocolate soldier, which I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and reset the tops of these, because you know, these still look really good, and I like this plant, and it's so fuzzy and pretty, and it does have the potential to get tall, to get really big and tall. The legs, I know a lot of people hate spiders, but I love spiders, and tarantulas are cool. And this thing, when the leaves start to die off, it reminds me of tarantulas. I'm just gonna look at all these little ones that are just popping up in here. Can you see those? I'm gonna throw that piece over here. Maybe I'll cut those last two little heads off. So I've got these little tiny, all kinds of stuff in here. So let's chop this one off. If the stem looks good, I may hang on to these. I'm not necessarily put them back in here, but look, so you can see this one's already flowered. I can just cut that stem right off of there, since it doesn't really want to break off. And this looks like it had some mealybug in here. But yeah, I can reuse those two little pieces if I want to. So these Rubertinctum, the jelly beans, you know what, let's come back to those. So I've got some crassula in here. These are little stacking crassula. I got a lot of these in other parts of the garden, so I'm not going to save those because those really aren't worth saving. Here's another chunk. I remember putting these in there, and I stuck them in the back. Look at the mealybug here. I stuck them in the back to, oh, you can actually see, oh God, I wish you could, I hope I can, can you see this? This one's actually moving. So you can see him. That's a live mealybug. Oh, I think I just squished him. But I saw him take about 3 steps, and I could see all his legs. Okay, he's dead. I squished him. These Rubertinctum, was that, now I forgot what I was saying. Okay, I'm not sure what these are, but I'm just gonna behead them. And there goes one. These all look really good. So I'll clean them up, you know, before I put them back in, but I'll probably reset these, because I'm gonna need a lot of small plants to go in that very top pot. And I'm definitely finding a lot of small little plants in here. I don't know what these are. You know, and a lot of these, I put them in here to fill in gaps. I just tucked them kind of into the back. I'm just gonna leave this hole like this. I might chop these and reset a few of those heads, so I'll leave them like that. But I would just tuck some plants in the back to fill in some gaps that I would see, and then just completely forget about them. So I don't even know. Ooh, pincher bug. I got earwigs living down in here. Okay, so we got this double one. Let me move this out of the way and grab this one because it's pretty heavy. I hear Dave in the house making fun of me. Okay, this one's heavy. Whew. All right, so let's, oh, here, okay, here we go. So I got another string of pearls hanging out of the, or string of teardrops, string of tears, whatever that's called, hanging out of the top plant, which I will be removing. But here is the rubbertinctum that's flowering, the jelly beans. Can you see that in the, is that high enough? Looks like I'm already about to lose this battery, and my camera, which I have the side open, is already getting really hot. So it's probably going to shut off on me in a minute, and then I'll have to take a break and let it cool down and change the battery. So I'm going to, you know what, I'm just going to chop these here at the stems down low and just take all of these out of there. And I will probably be resetting these because look at the color. I mean, how could you not reuse those? They're so, just so pretty. Okay, those down in there. Let's get, how are we gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? I need to turn this way. Okay, first thing, I'm gonna try and get this out of here. Where are you rooted? Right down in here. Can I pull you out? Oh, you're rooted in there pretty good. No, I can't pull you out. Let's go around the back side. So here's some more tomentosa. Is it kalanchoe? This is kalanchoe, I believe. We're gonna cut these. This is a different one. It's not the chocolate soldier, but it's still really pretty. So we're gonna keep these right next to that one. And we got another one down here. Get that one out of there. I'm pretty sure these were ghosties. Oh, can I get that whole piece out? Yeah, I can. So, yeah, I think these look like ghost plants. I'll stick those in there. And, oh, there's a little pig. How cute. Put that there. We got an agavoides here. I might be able to just lift this one right out. Yep. Shake some of that dirt off. Put that back in there. Oh, this is a pup off of this plant. Here, let's get this purple one out of here. Oh, that is really pretty. Yeah, we'll clean this one up. I'll definitely reuse this one. That is, I'm not sure what that one is, but looks good. Get that down in there. Let's see if I can get this plant. Okay, so that string of tears is coming out of the small pot on the top. So let's get this. Ooh, had a root through there. Yeah, this was got all these little pups around it, so that's a nice one. Keep that. Let's see if we can get this. I think I'll just cut this one down low. Make that easier. Another one of those. Ooh, this one looks good. Clean the stem off a little bit. Okay, throw that in there. Now let's come back around this way. I think I can just, I don't know what this thing is. It almost looks like pickle plant, like the little cactus. We'll come back to that one. Can I get this out of, oh yes, I can just lift this right out of there now. So this was the small top one. I'm gonna set it over here on the ground. And it wants to fall over. It's got a heavy rock in it that I put in to hold the plant. So now let's turn this around so we can see what we're doing. Let's see if we can just pull this whole, yes we can, pull this whole plant out just like that. Set it in our bucket over here, or whatever you call it. Oh, some more Portulacaria. This is the Portulacaria Afra variegata. This is not worth saving. I'm not going to keep this piece, but I do want the jelly beans that are next to it, because although I don't know if I'm going to put them back in here, but look how nice they are. I can just chop each one of these little heads off and put it back in there as a nice little clump. And I got some more little stacking crassulas in here. So we'll put this to the side over here. I'm going to cut this one off. I'm going to cut that even a little shorter. That looks good. Clean that up a little bit. Okay, yeah, put that back in with the pile of the other ones. Now this I'm not going to put back in here because clearly, whoa, hold on. Going Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Clearly, this one isn't real happy here, but I think this is what's called the pickle plant. It's like almost like a little cactus. You can feel it's got spines that kind of catch a little bit, but look at the root system. So I might cut those and repot those in a small little tiny pot. Stick it in my kitchen window or something. All right, let's get all this out of here. We're gonna empty this whole thing into the bucket if we can. There we go. And there's still more at the bottom. Tell you what, in between the roots, that soil feels really good. It's not, doesn't feel like it's, you know, like regular organic soil breaks down and, you know, when you switch out a pot, just mush. But this still is like nice, got a lot of nice grit to it. So I don't know, I might go over to the big trash can, sift through my bucket here. You can see how the soil just shakes out of these roots. And then I'm left with, you know, this nice, I don't know, yeah, because if I just kind of, I can feel the soil just falling out and these loose roots just, and I might be able to just reuse it. I like this soil. I don't think this is the stuff that I usually use, the cactus and succulent soil from Evie Stone. I think this is what I got from the Secret Garden. Comes in a white bag and it's grittier. It has less organic material, so it's really nice. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, I got one more, huh? I'm gonna put this one over here. Ugh, I forgot about my little one here. All right, let's deal with this. Can you see if I gotta tip my camera just right or else it just wants to fall over. And it's just about to die. I got about, I don't know, 1% battery left. So I'm gonna pull this big rock out. I'm gonna dig out this string of tears and I'm gonna shake off all this stuff into here. And so I'm kind of left with this plant, which I'll have to find a place for. It doesn't look great, but it's definitely worth saving. So we'll stick it in here somewhere. Where are we going to put it? Back in this corner. Okay. Dump that out. I'm just going to wipe all the stuff off the outside of the pot. Clean the spiders out of it. Okay, so that's all of them. Now I just have the big one that's on the ground. I'm gonna go pull that stuff out of there. I'm not gonna film it because my battery's about to die, and there's just a few plants left in there. I'll show you what it looks like over here. So I'm just gonna cut these superbums. I'm gonna behead them, all these purple ones, take those jelly beans out and these, and then I'll probably just sift through that dirt right there and leave that one just where it's at because it was so heavy I couldn't even move it. So I will bring you back when I change my battery and let my camera cool down a little bit. Okay, so I got everything pulled out of here, and I'm going to put, I think, a little Osmocote pellets in there. So this one, this planter is full of ants, so there's clearly an ant colony down in the bottom, but I'm going to leave them and just let them do their thing. So I do want to get a little bit of fertilizer in each one of these pots, kind of dig it down in there. I did leave all the soil. Okay, so this one I don't think I need to do it really the same direction that it was. And since I'm putting everything back as cuttings, I can actually put quite a bit of soil. And you might see there's still some little roots in here because I did save all the soil. I went through, I sifted most of everything out of it. Okay, so I did that one, and then how did I think I had a smaller one, but I'm not gonna, I didn't think to check and see which direction, but I think I'm gonna go this way. I think first. Yeah. Okay, so get that down in there. And then we fill this one with soil, which is in my bucket. This probably won't be enough. I will probably have to go get more out of the bag, but that's okay. That's okay. So then we're going to fill this one up. And anything that's still in there, like whatever roots, you know, I missed that are still in there, they're just going to break down in the soil and they'll just add nutrients back to it. So that's okay. I mean, I tried to get as much out of it as I could. This is really good soil. Yeah, I think I got this from the Secret Garden, from their soil mix. I can't remember the name of it. It comes in a white bag with, I think, green writing on it. Okay, so fertilizer. You know what, yeah, let's just take the top off. Oh, there's a scoop in here. I never knew that has a little, I won't use that. I'll just dump it in my hand, sprinkle it in there, and then mix it down. Let it get down in that soil. Good enough. I'm not real picky. Okay, so there's that one. I should put the lid back on this because I will dump it over if I don't. Okay, next pot, I think will be this one. I know before I did a smaller pot on the second tier and then went with the bigger ones. So that is just not even going to go in the pot. It's just going to hang on the outside. Yeah, and then I think this will, okay, this is going to give me a lot more planting room, but the smallest one, unless I set this one, I could set this one that way, and then let's see, if I do want this little one, I might have to do a little, yeah, I think I'm just going to go with 4 this time, because I'm going to get a lot more planting room, because before the pots were half covered, because I did a small one, then a big one. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it like that. So, I may need more plants then, but let's start with what we got here and fill up this one. Are you still in frame? You couldn't even see what I was doing on the top there, could you? So I'll kind of show you when I'm done, because I realize now that this was completely out of frame when I was talking. Push that down. I want to be careful because there's a lot of weight on those rebars. So what I was thinking about doing was, at the top, I was considering putting this pot that way and then trying to put and get my putting this pot back this way and then trying to set this small one in here, maybe like that, but I'm not going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is set this one to that side, so now I have the full surface of these three and most of the bottom one to plant up. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put you back, turn you, and then I need to go get some more soil for this top pot, so I'll be right back. Okay, so what I want to do now is back up a little so I can be comfortable, is get these ready to go in the pot. So I filled them all up with soil. I didn't film the rest of that because that's boring, and then I added some Osmocote pellets to that. And so now I'm just going to pull all these out of their pots, and I don't need the name tags. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. You know what if I move this? And all I'm gonna do is figure out what I did with my plant, is I'm just going to pull the soil off of these, and most of these are planted in like almost like a peat moss sort of a stuff. So I'm gonna get it all off, pull off any dead leaves, and I'm gonna cut the stems on all of these because I want to plant them all as cuttings, and so that way I can get, God, there's a lot of bark. Gotta find the stem, and that way I can get a lot more plants in there, and it's not gonna hurt them. This time of year is actually perfect because it's cool. We do have rain coming on Friday, but we'll see. I mean, this time of year they always say, oh, you're going to get a lot of rain. It's, 80% chance, 70% chance, but then by the time that storm gets close, then it's down to like 5% chance. And so we'll see. So this is what I'm going to do to all of them. I'm just going to chop them off so I can just set them into the, actually I'll put them back in the box over here. Then I can just set them into the pots without having to worry about how close together they're getting. Cat, I don't need your help. Don't rub on that, you'll knock it over. So same thing. Actually, we want to get that pot. Let's stack these. I do save these little pots because they come in handy when you buy plants that are bare roots, or they're, you need to plant them up a little bit, but you don't have a pot to put them in. These little plastic nursery pots, I just save them because they come in so many different sizes. So let's get all this. Yeah, this just feels like peat moss, maybe with some perlite in there. It feels like. So this one, if you want to know, let's see, Echeveria. This one's called Orion. That flower stalk out of there. So this doesn't have much of a stem. It's got a lot of root, but there's not really, I don't really feel a stem there. But I am going to cut all these roots off because I don't want them. Cat, stop it. So this one I'll just kind of leave like that. And I will pull these dead leaves out of there because you don't want that. Check it out. So this one looks pretty good. I like these. I bought like 2 of each of these plants, and that way, I can have a lot of different color. Pearl von Nuremberg, everybody recognizes these. Cat, she's sticking her foot through the handle in this cardboard box. Now she's knocking my bucket out of her way, because we all know it's it's all about the cat. This one's a little bit more gritty in here. So a lot of these, so this one has a nice stalk, so I'll cut that one off right there. A lot of these I got at Poots Nursery yesterday, and I got a few from Star Succulent Nursery. So here's another pearl. Set that there. Set that there. I keep doing this backwards. Should set the pots on that side. So again, get all the dead leaves out of there. If there's an old flower stalk, you kind of want to get that off there. Cat, I'm going to drop dirt on your head. Here, get out of the way. You moved my thing out of the way. So let's chop this one down. And let's pull that leaf off of there too. So looks good. Nice healthy plants. Oh goodness. And then let's do it this way this time. So this one is Echeveria colorata. You know, so many of them, I think they're the same plant. It's like they have different names, but when you compare them to other plants that you have, you don't see any difference at all in them, but yet they have a different name. You've bought it from a different vendor or a different nursery. And I just wonder if they just, I don't know, if they just give them the same names and it's, or different names and it's the same plant. Ooh, this is all rooted up to the top. I don't feel a thick stem in there. I'd like to know where these starlings are finding all these worms, because everything's pretty dry out here right now. But they keep coming back with worm after worm after worm. So I'm going to just trim these roots off. And so that's what this one looks like. It's just got a clump of roots, but this one's starting to flower. So I got another one of those. This one's a little bigger. Ugh, get it out of there. Same thing, get all this soil off of it. And I'll probably, since I do have, well, I don't know. I'm not putting any big plants in here. I was hoping to find a couple of larger, like Echeverias, you know, that are more like this big around instead of, you know, this big around. To have, you know, one big plant in the middle and plant around. But they were, ooh, this one's got a little pup coming in under here. We'll leave that on there. They were so expensive. I didn't want to pay $20 for just a common Echeveria because it was that big. And unfortunately, that's what was available where we went. I should have gone over to Star Succulent Nursery because they do have a lot of bigger ones. And they're only like $8. You know, they're nothing fancy, nothing special, but they're larger. You know, they're a lot larger. So, okay, let's cut all the roots off of here. All that out of there. And this way, you know, I'll just have to kind of make a little impression. I won't even really have to dig a hole. This one's flowering too. So hopefully they won't drop their buds. So Echeveria Curly Blue is this next one. This one's kind of got a thinner, softer petal. It's almost a ruffly one. Probably where the name comes from, curly, and it is a pretty, can you see this one? It is a pretty blue, a bluish color. Again, I don't feel like it has a thick stalk. Did I only get one of these, or did I? I've got a whole nother box of plants behind me. I bought quite a few, so hopefully I'll have plenty to fill up this whole planter. But if not, I will steal, oh, this does have a bit of a stalk, cool. I will steal some from around the garden. I have tons of ghosties. I have tons of graptos, graptosedums, graptovarias, you know, whatever. So yeah, that one came out. That's good. Got a nice little stalk on there. So I got a lot of these little ones too. And these ones were pretty cheap. I think these were like $3 a piece. And this one's got a little pup here. So let's pull this roots off. Don't need that. So yeah, this has got a nice little stalk. And these weren't labeled. None of these little ones were labeled. So, I mean, I can Google them and look them up because they're all, you know, it's pretty easy to tell them apart. I don't want to touch them too much because I don't want to take off, you know, this, what do you call this, that they get this dusty sort of covering, patina or verena or I don't know, something. So I try not to touch them too much to wipe that off. I did get a couple of kiwis. Now look in here so you can see, don't lose my little thing. It had a couple of other plants. These are not, it's not a kiwi, and I don't think that one is either, but they've grown little plants. They've fallen into here out of other pots and started little plants themselves. So we'll get those out of the way. But yeah, so these kiwis are doing good. We're just gonna chop that right off, but you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different heads on here. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 5. Okay, 5. So these little kiwis are so cute and super colorful. And I'll probably put them towards the back because they don't like really strong sun. They do not do as well as some of the other ones in that real harsh sun. So here's another one. So I'm thinking what happened in here. Okay, there we go. Again, this one has a bunch of little leaf babies in here that have started growing little plants. I don't know if you can see those, but so I'll probably just toss those right back into the pot in the back, and they'll probably root themselves right back up. So, oh goodness. So what I think is going on here with these kiwis, I want a little more of this stalk, a little bit longer. I think what they're doing is, on a mature plant, I think they behead them, and then they will produce all these extra heads on here. So if you take an aeonium and you pull, oh, I think I swallowed a bug. You pull all those inner leaves from right on the top, it will it'll send off more little plants, more little plant heads, and then what you get looks like this. And those will all, you know, so you'll get a nice, more full aeonium. And if you cut off, like if you take a, I don't know, a ghost plant, and you cut the top off of, you know, you cut the rosette off of it, and then you just leave the stalk planted, it'll produce, you know, baby plants right off of that stalk. So this one I'm going to cut a little bit farther down, and I'm going to leave, because this has a little tiny stem here. If you can see, just not much of it, but it's got lots of little roots in there. So I bought 2 of these. These are not labeled, so I can't tell you exactly what they are. Unfortunately, I don't know why they don't label them, because they can just simply put them all in a big group and put one tag, so that when you're picking them out, you know, what I would do is just take a picture of the tag, so when I get home I'll kind of have an idea of what I got. But yeah, they don't do that. They're just all mixed in together in one big flat, and then they have rows of them, and they're like, you know, $2, $3 a piece. But these should root up really nicely. Okay, here's another one of these. Also got pups. Come out. Knock the leaves off. I'll hang on to the leaves that are good. This one is really stuck in there. Most of these are really dry, but this one's pretty damp. So they may have just watered these. But you know what? I might try and save that one. It's got all these tiny new little pups. I may try to stick that one in there just like that. In fact, you know what? I'll stick it back in its little pot, make sure it stays together. So then I got these. Now this to me looks like Echeveria Blue Elf. Look how pretty that is with the pink tips. I love these. So I'm gonna get all this soil off of it. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to cover this up with a shade cloth. And then what I do in the afternoon, once the sun is over the other side and there's no direct sun, then I take the shade cloth off of it, because then it still will get plenty of bright light, but not that harsh direct sun that's gonna burn them. Trim some of this off. Yeah, so I got 2 of these. Here's the other one. These are so cute. Love them. I think I have a bunch of these, which is what makes me think that's what this is, because I know I have Echeveria Blue Elf, and they do have those pretty pink tips on them and that really nice bluish color to them. Let's get all this dirt out of there. It's not even dirt, it just feels like peat moss. So these will be happy to get into some gritty soil, and I think they'll do better than how I did it last time, because I planted them with the big root balls in them, so I couldn't get as many plants and I couldn't get them as close together. And succulents, they do like to be crowded. How pretty that is. Little pointy tips. Not sharp, but pointy. So I bought 2, I don't know why, of these jades. I'm not a big jade fan, but you know what? The color was pretty green, and I thought it would contrast nice. I'm not going to pull those out yet, because I think if I do, they'll fall apart. But I will take these out. Really pretty, huh? I love it. You can see they're using whatever kind of water. They have hard water there. It's leaving all the mineral deposits and whatnot on the leaves. We have really hard water here, unfortunately. We have a well, and so, I mean, it's not as bad as some places. I think when I checked ours, it was like 130 ppm, which, you know, really isn't too bad. I mean, some people have, you know, 200 and, you know, even higher parts per million of, you know, whatever's in there. Whatever's in your water. Go away, flies. Flies are coming out right now. Oh, it's horrible. It's warming up. And, you know, we have horses and donkeys and goats and a sheep all around the outside of the property, so we're always infested with flies. And they are annoying. Cut that off. So pretty. I love this one. I bought 3 of those just because I really like this kind of dark green and copper, sort of bronze, whatever color you want to call that. Okay, so let's clean all this one off. Chop off that stem. Now's the time to fluff up my gutters in the back as well, but you know, because they have lots of little gaps. So I bought these 2 Cedaveria Lilac Mist. I bought 2 of these, but I want them to kind of stay together, so I'm gonna wait until I'm ready to put them in, and then I'll pull those out of there. So, and then I bought, I think did I show you this one? Graptopetalum Copper Rose, and this is just, I clearly can see this is just different cuttings. It looks like 6 cuttings in there, so I'll pull those out when I'm ready to stick them in the planters. But first, I have a whole nother box of some larger plants. I mean, not much larger, but a little bit. So we got Echeveria Orion, and clean this one off. I hear Dave over there talking to the pigs. What's he doing? He must be making snacks for them. Well, we stopped at the strawberry stand down the road. They're open again. Got some fresh strawberries, And our strawberry stand, I think, is it the daughter? One of them makes fresh strawberry jelly out of their strawberries there, and it is so good. So we always buy a couple jars every year, and oh, it's delicious. Pardon the tractor driving down the road. Get all this dead leaves out of the bottom. This one's heavy. This one's kind of, the soil's still got a little moisture in it. So I think they watered this one not too long ago. Shake all that dirt out of there. And then let's just trim all this off. Careful not to cut my fingers off. And these roots are going to grow back, I think, pretty quick. Because right now, I mean, everything is in the growing stage. All this stuff is waking up from the winter, and it is ready to be awake and flowering and getting watered, and dropping stuff everywhere. Okay, I got this too. So this is lily pad. It wasn't labeled, but I know this is an Echeveria lily. Is it Echeveria? It's a lily pad, and it's a thick, it's a really cool one. Now I had one before, and I had it in a big pot out by the greenhouse, and it was absolutely beautiful, and it was spreading like crazy, and then it got neglected, and then it got mealybugs really bad, and then by the time I really got around to taking care of it, it was too late. It wasn't worth saving, sadly. So, and I don't see that very often, so when I saw them there yesterday, I grabbed, it looks like I grabbed 2 of them. All right, so now I've got, okay, what is this? This one was not labeled, but it's kind of, ooh, that's a rotten, yuck, that's gross. I hate when you pull on a leaf and it just squishes in your fingers like a worm. That's, ugh, so gross. All slimy. This kind almost feels like an agavoides. I'm not sure if it is, but it doesn't have a lot of color to it. It's just kind of almost like an olive green. But I thought it was cool, so I grabbed one. And we're gonna cut all the roots off of it. So the Echeveria, ugh, I can feel this rotten leaf under here. Yuck. Ugh, why? Why? So disgusting. The agavoides do really good in my area. They're super hardy all through the summer in the heat. I have a couple that are in full sun. I have one that's in my big wagon over here, which that's going to be another project I'm going to get to pretty soon, is I want to paint my wagon, and it's going to be so pretty. So yes, I think this is an agavoides. The camera's dropping down, is it? I can't tell. Anyway, so that's that one. And then I've got 2 of what I believe is the agavoides lipstick. So that is really pretty. So let's get these ones cleaned up, and I think these are going to do really well in here. This one's really dry, so that makes it easier to get all this stuff off of it. When it's wet, everything wants to stick. But as you can see, okay, so we switched cameras, and I've got Dave's GoPro now. I don't know what's going on with mine. I think there's something's wrong with it. But let's start getting some plants in. So I'm going to start with the bottom, and I'm going to move plants right here. And since most of these are just bare root, I'm going to try and get them as close as I can together. So I'm going to put this one, because last time these little ruffly ones, they kind of were not real happy about the harsh sun, and I'm going to sort of dig a little depression for this one's kind of root, not really a root ball, but, and I didn't get anything to hang over the edge. You're supposed to have, you know, a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. Well, I don't really have any thrillers, And I don't have any spillers at all because, you know what, I really didn't want to get anything hanging over the edge. I'm just kind of trying to, so this, I just have the root ball for this string of tears. I just have it hanging over, or sitting up on the top, because I'm going to plant that back in there. I didn't want to disturb it. So I want to get one of these agavoides in here. And then, how about one of these little teeny right in here, little pretty little guys. And then over on this side, how about a nice little pearl? Can we, is it touching the soil? Almost. Can we stuff it down in there? Yeah, it's too wide. We don't want to put that one in. Let's find something a little bit smaller. Oh, you know what? How about one of these little guys? Stick that in there. Okay, so, and I can put some little small skinny ones with longer stems in these gaps if I want to. So that is good for that one for now. So for here, we've got a lot more open space. And I think what I want to do is stick a couple of these. No, you know what? I'm going to put those on the top. So I think I'm just going to kind of set a lot of these big ones, just kind of stuff them in there. This one needs a little bit of a depression for its roots. I need some green in here. How about this other agavoides? And then here, this pretty purple pearl. And you know, let's try and get, I kind of want to keep all of this in one clump like that. Can I push them down without knocking this whole thing? So get in there, push those down in there. There we go. Okay. And those will grow and look really pretty right there. Now, what do we want to put under here? How about these cute little blue elves, because they will appreciate having this little bit of, you know, not so bright. And then maybe this little Echeveria frost can be tucked in there. Get that straightened up a little bit. There we go. Like that. And I need one more little bitty one. It looks like I used most of them up. How about if I just stick that? Is it in there? Yeah, that's got to be down in there. There we go. Okay. I like that. Now, it would look nice to have, you know, something spilling over the edge, but I just didn't want to deal with that, honestly. So let's come around. You can kind of see, right? So I'm gonna grab these lily pads because I did want to put them back back in here. You know what? I'm gonna knock the soil off, so you kind of keep an eye on that. And I'm hoping, oh, the soil comes right off of these. That'll make it a lot easier to plant them. And each one of these is one stalk, so that's perfect. Yeah, these will go in the ground really easy. Whew. And I'll be able to get them nice and close together. I did leave the roots on them, you know, I just kind of left them both like that. So what I want to do is I want to get them right up in the top here. I'm going to put one there. I'm going to obviously need some more soil in here. And I'm going to put one here like that. And I'm going to put this in the ground, or in the soil here, and cover it up as best I can. And I'm gonna go get another scoop of dirt. Okie dokie. So let's add much more soil in here. These back in there. Push that dirt up in there. Yeah, that off of there. Up in there. And it feels like they're planted good. Okay. Add some more soil here. This has got to go deeper. All right, I need to get up in here. Probably gonna be difficult, but what I need to do is bury this way down deep so that it lifts these up like that. Okay, see if that'll stay. That one out. Oh, okay. So I didn't disturb the roots in the ground on this plant. Ow! Oh. So now the sun is starting to go over the top of the house. It is 1:15, but I can see, look at earwig, I can see the shade is going the direction I want it to now, so that's good. All right, so here, I'm going to bring my plants that I prepared, and let's set the box right here, and let's get some more of these in. I'll get that pearl right in there. We'll get this one, just needs a little bit of a depression, and I just broke a leaf off of it, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's get this, what feels like possibly an agavoides under there. Another little ruffly one. Just stick that one there. And I want two of those in there. Oh, you know what I did? I wanted to put the kiwis back here. Well, that's not gonna work. Why did I not take it? Oh, because I wanted to leave it. Yeah, I can't do that. Okay. Let's put this one in here. That there. That leaf out of the way. Tuck you up. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to start them on the bottom, huh? I'm just gonna put the kiwis right here. I'm gonna put all three of them right in here. Okay, that's pretty full. Wonder if I can get one. Nah. Okay, let me get out of the way here. Whoa. Oh, okay. You know what? How about this one? Right in here. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. There we go. So this last one is going to be a little tricky because I keep kicking the plants over. I want to get, let's see, how much room. I want something that's going to grow taller, so I have these little jade plants. And I think what I want to do is keep them in their little pots, which, since I don't have anything else in there yet, I can do that. So let's do, it's hard to get back in here. Okay, so let's dig a little bit down. Hopefully we don't knock this hole. I don't think these pots can come off. I mean, that rebar is pretty strong. You can't break those. All right, let's get both of these little jades, but I want them to kind of stand up just like that, because they will grow taller. Get in there. All right. And I didn't want to separate them from the dirt, because I didn't want them falling apart. I want them to kind of stay together. Whoa. Let's carefully get back here. So I kind of want to, it's going to be tricky though. You know what? I need to put the big one down here, actually. And then the smaller ones here up the side. And I think that will look really pretty as these grow. Yeah, okay. And then over here, I'm going to put right in the middle, I kind of want to put this, which will help to hold that jade up. And it should grow out and get fluffy. Now, whew, you know what? How about if we put these chocolate soldiers, what'd I do with them? I buried them. Okay, there's one, two, there was a third piece. Whew. And let me have that piece and that piece. Okay, so we're gonna stick these chocolate soldiers in here. Ooh, need a tool. Okay, here we go. So, and I think I kind of want to put them, actually you can't really see this side, I know, but I think I'm going to stick them over in here, down in there, and they will grow taller. Okay. There's stuff in there. Okay. I'll let those grow and fill in. You need to hold that up. Okay, so what we want to do on this side, let's see, how about a couple of these Superbum. We can, these are so pretty. I need more dirt. More dirt. Okay. Ooh. Okay. And then let's just set some of these little Superbums here. And we had a bunch of them. That one's really big. Should we try to get one of these larger ones in there? Cut off the flower stalks. Let's see if we can get this big one right in there. Right in there. Are you gonna stay? Okay, now if we can get one with a really long stem. Whoa. Get in there. You don't want to push too hard on the tops because you will break them, but that's good. Okay, those aren't going anywhere. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I need some little ones down in there. So how about if we pull these out of here? Oh, I never did put that one in. Separate this one. Chop its roots off. Whoa. Okay, hold on. I'm coming. Get all this out of there. Whew. What a mess. Chop all these roots off because we don't need those roots. We're just going to grow more. And so what we're going to do is, whoa, stick one. I think I want to, nope, it doesn't fit. It's too fat. Okay, what do we have that's going to fit in there? We got a mess in here, huh? Well, I don't know. Let me look around and see what I have that's skinny that I can poke into there, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, as you can see, I'm all done. I got the pop-up shade thing put away, and it is about just 2 o'clock now, and as you can see, this whole side of the house is completely in the shade. So all these plants by 2 o'clock are shading. Now in the summer, some of these closer ones to the edge, it's more like 2:30. You know, the sun's a little bit higher, you know, this way towards the sky, but pretty much by 2 o'clock I'll be able to come out and pull the shade screen off here. So I won't need it today, obviously, and I'm pretty much done, I think. So I could have put, you know, and you really should have like some spillers and something taller, but I didn't really want to because it's a lot easier to cover it when you don't have a bunch of stuff sticking up or hanging over or whatever. And you know, and I kind of like this because these are going to fill in. And I did pop in some jelly beans here and there around in here, some more down in here, but it looks so much better. You know, it's not perfect, but I like it, and I like all the different colors in there. Those are going to look really good. So these will root up probably pretty quick. I've got a ringer of stuff around the bottom. Down in here, some more jelly beans. And then I did plant, I left that end of this string of tears in the ground. It's a little bit looser than it was before because, you know, I didn't get as deep, and it was in a pot that was a little bit higher. But I did sink the roots at the top part way down, so they probably will stay a little bit more moist. So I think that'll be a little better. But all in all, it looks way better than it did. And I do like it without the small pot inside. So I can pretty much fill these completely. And when these fluff up and start to grow out, they will push their way up a little bit, and they're going to look really good. So I do need to add some fresh top dressing down into there and kind of straighten my little ribbon out here where I've been walking around in my gravel, but I'll clean that up later. But I think it looks good, especially from a distance. It looks way better, way better. So that's been needed to be revamped for a long time. I did have a lot of stuff left over. A few of the plants that I bought yesterday I still have, and then I don't think I put much back that I pulled out other than some of the jelly beans. So my next project will be these 2 pots, and I'd like to get them done later this week because it's going to cool down again, and that'll be a fun project. And I think I have plenty of stuff because a lot of this stuff I will probably cut some of this cotyledon and reset it, you know, so it's clumpy. You know, this one too, I think this is the mint truffles, and you know, I'll cut a lot of this and reset it. This, I don't know what I'm going to do because I just want to leave this, but it definitely needs to be redone. I soaked this really good the other day, and it looks like it's already dry again, but I did water it. So I'll have a lot of stuff to put back in here. Plus everything that's in there will probably go right back in. And then these will look beautiful again. Yeah, so that'll be my next project. So for now, I think I'm pretty much done. Time to go relax a little bit. That was killing my back because I couldn't sit while I was doing it. I was leaning over in an awkward position. And, you know, I already had one back surgery. So once you mess up your back, you know, you got to really baby it. And it's always an issue, but that's another project done. And so until next time, thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm almost to 1,000. I think I've got about 45 left, and I'll hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you for that, and we will see you next time.